The hardest part about school is getting him to just do it because he knows he can.
Filipino is definitely a challenge.
And he's really good with math and science, actually. That's where he really excels.
Hi, I'm Kat Juan Ledesma. I'm a writer, educator, wife, and new mother of two. Parenting has definitely been my most exciting journey, but it also comes with a lot of questions. So I've asked a few friends and experts to share what they've learned from their own parenting adventures. We've compiled the best stories and tips in the hopes that their experiences will enlighten yours. This is the Parent Files.
Brought to you by Ask Off Lagundi, the #1 natural cough remedy.
He goes to a Waldorf school, so everything is taught creatively and they go with the development of each child. So he's not particularly having a hard time in a certain subject, but I do always encourage him to practice reading and writing a lot. For me, the challenge is getting him to practice at home and just honing his skills in it.
But she talks to us, like when she has a hard time in math, and then I'll explain.
And then she'll try to solve it on her own.
And then we'll practice.
The hardest part about school is getting him to just do it because he knows he can. And you want to just build a discipline, I guess. That's what we try to do with him, is try to give him a schedule for him to be able to keep up with the things that are required of him in school. He's had a tutor since he was a year and a half. It's always been a part of his schedule. 2 or 3 times a week, he meets with teacher Beth, and they discuss not only the things in school. She tends to bring more advanced subjects in math, for example. So by the time it comes up in school, he's prepared for it.
Reading, it's actually the Filipino reading. Not because he doesn't know or understand Tagalog, but the reading in Filipino, they're really the deep Tagalog that even when I read it, it's a challenge for me to understand it. He read Ibong Adarna last year. I read it with him. It was repetitious. It was very, very deep Tagalog that was hard to understand. I know there are a lot of better books now. I mean, more modern that the kids could relate to. So I hope that schools could find them and add that in the curriculum.
With homeschool, like especially those years that she had to learn how to be more independent, the challenging things were to set goals for the day. Like if you need to do how many pages in science, how many pages in math. I think it's really more of that.
The subjects that he doesn't really do well in are Filipino. But I think because he isn't stimulated, I noticed that when something is interesting to him, he does so well. He writes, he loves to write, so he writes really well. But I think he loses interest when it comes to having to do, let's say, grammar work or, you know, the usual school stuff.
English, she would always tell me that it's also one of the challenging subjects because of the technicalities, like the concepts of language and reading as well. But she loves reading.
Aral ng Panlipunan. Because during grade 3, the teacher, I didn't really like the teacher that much. So I didn't want to listen.
The Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Yeah.
And then my brother also writes book. Well, writes his own books, but for us to read.
Yeah.
So it's just for private reading. So she writes. I think it's about this thick.
Yeah,
but
but I
she
think
gets
it's
to
one of
finish.
them is published, but then the others at our end, because he writes. So he'll send the book to us, and then that's what
She's like the first critic.
His old comic books, the Peanuts and the Kuting Magiting and the
Yes.
stuff from
Yes.
Comic Con.
Yeah, but the one book that she actually asked for by name was this book by Dan TDM. It's a YouTuber. It's a very famous YouTuber.
I just transitioned him from picture books to novels and just like big boy books. I call them, these are big boy books, okay? You're done with all those picture books. You should be reading these. So I think he enjoys, he likes Geronimo. It's this adventure book about like a mouse and it goes on adventures. Yeah, those are great books since, you know, it keeps the mind stimulated and it takes you to different places, travel.
Reading is another Waterloo for the simple reason that she really doesn't like to read. I tell her, you know what, I'll buy any book you want about any topic you want, just tell me what you want and I'll get it for you. It doesn't really, I don't know, it doesn't take, to her it's a chore. It's like, okay, I'll just read 10 pages. But, you know, hopefully as she gets older, she will find more books that are more aligned with what she's interested in.